Hello, this is WUPX 91.5 FM HD1 Marquette. This is the Jack and Dom radio show. Jack, how are you doing today?
Doing okay. How are you?
Doing good. I just want to let everyone know that the opinions said on this show do not represent the opinions of this radio station or the university. And if you so choose, you're able to get the recording of this show on Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We are also now on social media, so if you so choose, you can currently find us on Twitter and Facebook. Just look up the Jack and Dom Radio Show. That being said, good afternoon, everyone. A few good topics to talk about. Something a little different that I am proud to announce. We will have two special guests on October 27th joining us today. They are two local sports journalists that work for MyUP News, which is the ABC station, ABC TV station, Jack Durant and Tor Thorne. They are also two of my coworkers that I work with at that station, because if you don't know, I am now a production assistant over there, and they mainly do, they do sports news, but they don't do a lot of sports opinion or editorial. So they are actually excited to join us to talk about some different opinions that they have, some different experiences that they have, something a little different. I know that Jack was telling me that he might be a little late for the show on the 27th. So it's perfect. It's perfect. Perfect for us in regards to that. Also, on a personal note, you guys probably can now definitely tell my voice sounds a little, definitely different. All of my teeth have been removed, including the ones in the front. So if my voice definitely sounds very breathy as it is right now, that is why. So, hopefully in the next few weeks, you guys can give me a little bit of grace over that. I'll try my best to compensate.
It's okay. I do most of the talking anyway.
Compensate, yeah. But it's definitely been a warm week, a warm October week this week.
It was boiling outside yesterday. Crisp 85 in my dorm.
Yeah.
I was breaking out in a full sweat while cooking.
Hey.
Speaking of cooking,
yes.
Our men's hockey team was, in fact, cooking in the first game against UMass. Couple NMU records were broken in that game.
Okay.
Which was really exciting. I did, in fact, watch... towards the end, I started watching, I think, the beginning of the second period, and I had the first period on the radio. But exciting stuff for sure. We had a lot of new players on the team this year, obviously, and they're looking to be more competitive in the CCHA, obviously, after a tough year last year. William Grammy, new goalie for NMU, who is a transfer from Wisconsin, made a lot of people say Benny who this weekend because, if you remember the Benny chants, Benny, very popular goalie for us 2 years ago. Grandma... That's
where he went, right?
No.
He went to UMass?
No.
Okay.
That was UMass Lowell. This is UMass Amherst. Anyway, okay. William Grammy made NCAA history with 65. Yeah, you heard that right. 65 saves against the number 15 Minutemen on Friday evening.
In a game?
Yes.
65.
Yep, second most since 2004.
I didn't know you could shoot towards the goal that many times.
Oh, it gets worse. That is a career high for him, of course. It breaks the NMU single-game program record, which was 57 by John Corrigan versus Boston College in 1984.
Okay.
And the second most saves in a modern NCAA, so since 2004 regulation game. Only behind Jocelyn Guimond of RIT, who stopped 66 against St. Lawrence in 2005. So close to breaking that record.
So it's rare, but it does happen.
Only once. He's the second ever to have 65-plus saves.
Okay.
Then he made 34 saves in the first period, which also broke the Wildcat record for most saves in a period, beating Craig Kowalski's 27 against the University of Michigan in 2003. Schiller, Galt, Bolduc. With goals, Galt being the Ferris State transfer who was third in goals in the CCHA last year. Schiller missed most of last season with an injury. Bolduc also scored in his collegiate debut last year, so he seems to have a knack for scoring in game ones of the season. Jacob Altrichter was arguably the best player on the ice with 2 assists. Pitka, Hutchinson, and Slipik all also with points. NMU was up 2-1 after the first period.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Tied 2-2, went up 3-2, tied 3-3, and then an unlucky goal made it 4-3 UMass. NMU had a power play to end the game and could not score, and it resulted in a empty net goal to make it 5-3. But ultimately, a very competitive game that realistically NMU should have won. Despite the fact that there were that many shots on goal, NMU very much had momentum and probably should have won. Then they go and lose 4-1 in a not so close game Saturday. Or no, it was yesterday. Sorry. Grammy made another 15 saves in the opening period. Minutemen got 2 empty net goals in the last minute. So realistically, to a top 15 team in the country on the road in one of the best atmospheres in college hockey, you really lost if you take out the empty net goals, because obviously, those are freebies once you pull your goalie.
Yeah.
So if you talk about in regular play, you lost 4-3 and 2-1 against a top 15 team on the road in your first 2 games of the season. Yeah. You would have told me that before these 2 games, I would have taken that.
Yeah.
100%. And they got outshot massively in both games. I think the Minutemen had like 136 shot attempts in 2 games to NMU's like 70.
Okay.
Over 100 of which were on goal. Grammy ended up having 107 saves in the 2 games, which is the most ever for NMU in a 2-game stretch, beating 92 by Jeff Poschel against Washington in 1984. So NMU ultimately doesn't get the results they'd like, but I think as a fan, it's exciting to see how close we played against such a good team going into a game on the road against the Buckeyes, the 2-game series this weekend. So, I told you last year when we were on that big losing streak and only ended up with 4 wins. I told you, I said, I like what they're building, I like the culture, and I think it's going to build positive momentum. Now, obviously, they haven't won a game yet, so I'm not going to say that the momentum is, has led to something yet. But there's clear and obvious significant progress. They're moving in the right direction. The CCHA is very top-heavy this year, so I think they're going to have a hard time moving up. But with St. Thomas leaving the conference next year and a lot of Bemidji's, Minnesota State's, and Tech's players graduating, there is certainly opportunity into the future for NMU.
I think so, yeah.
Once you get to that tournament, anybody can make a run. So as long as they don't finish in those bottom spots like they did last year and qualify for the tournament, really anything can happen. So it'll be exciting to see. You've got the 2 games at OSU, which I think you actually have a chance of winning. I work with the Buckeye fan and statistics department, unfortunately. But even the Buckeye fan was saying that we've got a good chance to win those games, and I agree. We're hosting Colorado College, who we actually tied last year. I believe those were road games. So if we were able to tie them last year in one of those games,
we should be able to win.
Right.
We should be able to win those games.
I don't know about probably, because they're a better team this year. They're in the top 20 again.
But so are we. I think we are too.
Yes, we are much better. I mean, the measuring stick was like one of the worst teams in D1 to the point where you couldn't beat Alaska Anchorage.
Yeah.
Alaska Anchorage. Like, come on.
I think Massey Ratings had the second bottom.
Yeah, and that's fair. We were really, really bad. We couldn't even be Alaska Anchorage, who's been the worst team in college hockey.
Some D3 schools could probably have challenged.
I don't know about that, but we were probably one of the bottom 5 teams in hockey last year. So we can only go up from there.
Yeah. And
I think this year we'll finish somewhere in the middle of the pack of the CCHA. We're certainly better than Ferris, and we stole their top goal scorer, so that helps.
Yeah.
Bowling Green, I think, is overrated this year. I think we can beat them. Bemidji, I think, will be tough. Tech, we always play well. I don't see us beating St. Thomas or Minnesota State. But we'll see. I mean, the way we played against UMass, anything could happen. Yeah. And we host Michigan State to end the 4 straight series against ranked opponents. And despite the fact they're number 1 in the country, We played them quite well last season.
We did.
Again, despite the fact that the team was really poor overall. Do I think I'm going to win? We're going to win those games? I don't, but I do think they're going to be much more competitive than people think. And listening to the broadcast for Game 1, which was a ESPN Plus broadcast from the Hockey East announcers, so of course they've got their biases towards UMass as a Hockey East team.
Yeah.
They also consistently couldn't remember NMU players' names, which I think you got to do better.
Yeah.
But I think they mispronounced a few too. But anyway,
I'm not good with names either.
They were significantly biased, of course, towards UMass for that reason. But I think they gave a lot of credit to NMU, especially towards the end. When NMU went up 3-2, they did the announcer's curse. They said, I don't know if we can get another one past them. And then 5 minutes later, they got one past Grammy. But they gave NMU credit. They were like, I think they're going to be on the upswing. Like, they played very well. They gave UMass some heart attacks at some points. So I agree with them, and I think NMU hockey is going to have a much better season. Don't go around thinking we're going to win the conference title. Like, you got to have realistic expectations. Yeah. But I don't think it's unreasonable to think we can at least split the season series with Tech. I don't think it's unreasonable to think that we can finish middle of the conference, maybe win a playoff series on the road. Like, the potential is there, and we have a lot of veterans that we acquired this season from a variety of different programs. And so I think there's a lot more talent on the roster this year than in years prior. Grammy, the former Wisconsin goalies. You've got Joe Schiller from the USHL, which really anyone you can get from the USHL is always a big deal. Nicholas Ardennes, the senior, we got from RPI. Warren Clark from St. Cloud State. Tywin Ewert has been here a couple of years, but also from St. Cloud State. Zane Dempsey, Miami, Ohio. Matthew Ward, the freshman, is from the CHL, which is going to be a huge pickup. Peter Cesar, who got some good playing time this weekend, is also from the USHL. You've got Bolduc, who I think was here last year. Altrichter was here last year and is developing into one of our best players. Slipik has been really good. Caden Galt, who was on Ferris State previously, looked very good. Number of other transfers and significant players that we've gotten this year and over the course of the last couple of years.
And I think when we have our two guests come in, you could probably ask them, like, hey, what do you think about these certain players, and maybe project where you think.
Yeah, I think that'd be
go. Yeah,
but I like where things are heading for this team. They got a lot of talent this year, both in terms of recruiting the freshmen and also in terms of transfers, getting a lot of kind of overlooked guys at bigger programs like Wisconsin.
And you said we're playing Ohio State?
Correct. Okay. Ohio State next up this coming weekend on the road. If you so choose to, I would recommend you tune in.
Yeah.
I will probably try. I don't know if I'll have the time to tune in, but if I do, I will. And then after that, we got Colorado College and Michigan State. So I will be working most of those games.
Well, speaking of a program, not
a program that's not trending in the right direction.
Yeah. So instead of a good program that's working hard, a program
that's defeated.
That is defeated. We once again a football team loses to Saginaw Valley State, 47-25. It was not even close for most of the game.
Yeah, we got all our points in garbage time.
Yeah, all the points were made in garbage time. I think Saginaw Valley scored over 20 points in the second quarter.
Yeah.
We're now on a 27-game losing streak, 8th school record, and currently the second longest active D2 losing streak in the league. The team that has more games lost is at 29.
Wow, we are actually about to lose the most games of all time.
Well, I think they are Missouri Wesleyan.
This is the most all-time or the most current?
Most current. Most all-time, I think, is in the 50s.
Okay, so theoretically, we could event if Missouri Wesleyan.
If Missouri somehow wins a game, which is unlikely, but still anything is possible.
Ooh, second longest active streak is.
We are the second longest active streak right now. At 27, 29 is the current losing streak. When we play Grand Valley next week.
Can we keep it within 50 is the question, because, oh, man.
Because I initially thought that playing against St. Thomas, Minnesota, a D1 school, was going to be,
we kept it close.
But, bad.
I feel like that was
the
exception to the norm, and I feel like we're going to get blown out by 50 again.
But seeing that, like, Ferris, for example, they pummeled.
Yeah, 66-0
against Roosevelt.
And we'll still somehow lose that game, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but we will.
It is that Simpsons meme.
Where he's hiding in the bush?
No, where there's that kid on the bus and he chuckles and he's like, I'm in danger.
Yeah, we really are.
Yeah. We're in danger against Grand Valley. We're in danger against Ferris. And we play a mid D2 school against Saginaw Valley State, and it hurts to see.
Yeah, I mean, again, the coaches seem not to care anymore. It's the same play calling on both sides of the ball that's gotten us to this point.
Yes.
The players are trying their best, but they've lost all sense of hope and heart at this point. I mean, as have fans. It's a coaching staff that you can tell knows that they're gone, but knows that they can't be fired until the end of the year because of their buyout. So they're coaching like they know they're gone. There's no innovation going on. I see a lack of effort in terms of the coaching standpoint. If you don't pull out the kitchen sink against Grand Valley with the 50th anniversary team there, I don't even know. Mariucci.
Steve Mariucci is going to be there.
Right. Mariucci's going to be watching that game in the stands going, what's happened to my beloved program?
He should be coaching this program.
He's too good, but I would throw the bank at Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it either. He's
Robert
NFL defensive coordinator, but I would throw the bank at him. I know we have money in the athletics department. Give him whatever the hell he asks for. Or really just find a coach that didn't fail at the D3 level. That might be a good starting point. I don't know what you saw in Shane that made you go, yeah, that's our guy. He had a losing record at the D3 level. Like, why does that give you confidence that he's going to coach well at the D2 level? Like, the logic isn't logicking.
Yeah.
When the coaching search inevitably comes around...
I don't want to talk about the football team.
I assume he's going to be gone by... when does football season end? November? I assume he'll be gone by December 1st. That'd be a great birthday gift if he's gone by December 1st. I don't know.
First is your birthday?
It is.
Oh, December 7th is my birthday.
That's awesome. I don't know when his contract ends, like if it's
it should be the end of the season, yeah.
End of the season. Well, I don't know if it's end of the season, end of the calendar year. I don't know when. I hope it's end of the season, so you can guarantee he'll be canned by at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And then they will go on a coaching search, and you better hope that they find somebody better. Because, oh boy, there's got to be somebody in the D3 coaching ranks that has gotten success with a smaller school that you could hire.
Yeah.
Preferably someone that's on the upswing and not somebody that ended their career with a losing record.
Yeah.
Okay. Women's soccer.
We beat weekend. We tied Saginaw Valley State 3-3. However, they'll know that you.
Well, I was at that game.
Okay.
They led 3-0 at the half, and it was 3-2 in the 88th minute.
Oh, and then they scored, didn't they?
Yeah, Saginaw Valley scored. The wind was a massive factor. It was upwards of 20 miles an hour, I believe. One of the corner flags actually snapped. But what happened was when Northern was playing with the wind, it was 3-0, and then against the wind, it was 3-0 for SVSU, so it ended up being a tie.
Okay.
But it wasn't just the wind, it was some very poor defensive decisions by NMU's defense that contributed heavily to that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they tie 3-3 in a hard-fought game.
Men's soccer beat St. Cloud 2-0. A little win there. And our volleyball program is back on the upswing, beating Lake Superior State 3-0.
Yeah, they had
in an away game.
They had a disastrous start to the season, but they've looked good the last couple weeks. I've been impressed with how they've been able to turn it around.
They locked in. They all locked in. They're like, okay, we got to lock in, and we're better. I think the volleyball team is better than the record initially shows because of that.
They
very
had some
slow
tough
start.
Opponents too. To
very tough opponent away. Yeah, in far away land. Considering that we're D2, I mean, even many D1 programs, if the away game is so far away,
it makes it tough.
It makes it really tough. You're not going to have a lot of fans.
They had that invite in Florida, I want to say it was, and that was
there's a Florida Invitational.
There was a lot of travels. There were a lot of really strong teams there. But then since then, they've looked a lot better. Yeah. They've been a lot stronger. Mm-hmm. The performances have been better, so that's good to see. Men's and women's golf are currently live at the Flyer Invitational today and tomorrow. So that's very exciting. We are wishing the best to those games.
Where is the Flyer Invitational? Is that in Dayton?
It is in Illinois. Okay. I'm trying to remember who it's hosted, but it's hosted by Lewis, the Lewis Flyers.
Okay, I thought it was Dayton Flyers.
No. Okay. Dayton's a Division I team. So they are there in Lewis, at Lewis University at that Flyer Invitational. Both the men's and women's team are there today and tomorrow. Previously, the men finished 4th out of 5 at the Warrior Invitational at Wayne State in Dearborn. And then the women's team finished 13th out of 13 teams at the Bulldog Classic at Ferris State in Big Rapids.
This is women's golf? Or?
Women's was 13th at the Bulldog Classic, correct, and men's was 4th out of 5 at the Warrior Invitational this past weekend. Well, not 2 days ago weekend, but the previous weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They've both had tough starts to the seasons, but they've had some strong individual performances at each tournament. So we're hoping in their last couple of outings for the fall season, they can turn it around and get some strong finishes. So we will update you on that next week. And we jump into what I'm sure is your favorite topic of the afternoon.
Well, okay, so I was following this game. It was close. We all know, I got to stretch here. Excuse me. We all know Nebraska, going to Nebraska is hard.
Yeah.
It is.
I'll give you credit.
Nebraska's
tough.
Very tough environment. They don't have an NFL team there. So when it comes to football, it is all bought in.
Yeah,
everyone's bought in.
Nebraska's a top 10 stadium.
On the Cornhuskers.
And as you've stated here, it was close to the 4th.
It was close until the 4th.
I will say, though, Nebraska had several leads that you then caught up, and then Nebraska got the lead again, and you caught up, and Nebraska got a lead. So, it was close on paper.
And
then
the logjam broke pretty much in the fourth quarter.
It was close on paper, but I don't think Nebraska ever was really concerned about losing that game. State would get a little bit of momentum, but not enough to really turn the tables. Nebraska would seize it back almost immediately.
But getting that momentum at Nebraska is hard.
Sure, so I think
you got to give Michigan State a little bit of
the reason I don't give you as much credit is because unlike the Michigan game where they kept it close because of a fumble by Michigan in the red zone, or not in the red zone, a fumble by Michigan, and also the fact that they threw a Hail Mary at the end of the half and happened to get a touchdown. In this case, it was more so the fact that I didn't know about that. I'm surprised you didn't mention the fact that Childs got benched. Was he that bad? 9 for 23, 85 yards, and 200
When I said I followed the game, I was just getting notifications on my phone. I was in Marquette City on a little vacation with my fiance and parents.
So this is interesting. This is interesting. So he must have got pulled pretty early, then came back in, then got pulled again.
Mm-hmm.
For the record, you basically lost by you got a garbage time touchdown, so you were down 38.
Can you stop? Oh my god!
What's wrong with that? I'm just stating a fact.
You
were down 17.
Give us the benefit of the doubt for once, okay? It is hard. For a team of our caliber right now, it is hard to have such a score at such a place. Anyway, we're going to move on.
Well, no, there's another.
We're going to move on. No.
I want to actually give you credit. Your backup QB came in and played quite well. 6 for 7, 71 yards, and a touchdown.
Okay.
However, I don't know why, what happened to Childs and why he was so off. I don't know if it's cause to be concerned. I think the bigger cause to be concerned about is that you gave up 6.4 yards a carry and 3 touchdowns to their starting running back.
Well, like I said, our defense is
your defense is a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Your offense is pretty solid, but I'm not entirely sure what was going on with Childs because that was a really uncharacteristic game from
I'm just going to sniff this Sharpie just to compensate for the depression from my team because, oh my goodness, the glory days are over.
Yeah, it's been.
It could have come back, maybe.
Yeah, you were 2 for 14 on third down.
In a shadow of its former self, but my goodness, I have a little more doubt that we'll beat Michigan. I still believe, I still have faith
buddy.
that we'll beat Michigan.
You're hilarious for that one. By the way, yeah, Childs got hurt mid-game, so Milovicic.
Yeah, that is, I will admit that is a hard name to pronounce.
Milovicic, I think is how you pronounce it, came in and actually played quite well. But Childs,
he's a pocket passer.
Yes,
he's not.
But even before Childs got banged up, that's a rough stat line. 9 for 23, 85, and 2 touchdowns. I think you don't really need to be, and also 13 rushes for only 23 yards is also not great.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think you need to be concerned because Nebraska's a good team. Whether or not you want to say it was a close game or not, you can say
it was a close game until the fourth quarter.
Okay, until the fourth quarter, I can agree. But it got out of hand a little bit towards the end of the fourth quarter. It's my argument. So I don't think you need to hit the panic button yet. But I mean, you've got a game. This is a give me game. There is no chance you lose this game. Although I said the same thing about
against UCLA. Yeah,
I'm gonna get to that. If you beat UCLA, great. You get a win. You're probably going to make a bowl game. Nice. If you lose to LA, whether it's your offense sputtering like it did against Nebraska or your defense giving USC chunk plays every 30 seconds, then it's cause for concern.
Yeah, it is. I completely agree.
And yes, they beat Penn State, but it's UCLA. You cannot lose to UCLA like that. That would be rough. I think you'll blow them out.
UCLA, they fired their coach, right?
Yeah, and their interim has been great. Funny story about their interim, by the way. James Franklin lost, and James Franklin and Penn State in general are known for losing games to big opponents.
Yeah,
or
42
also losing
to 37. Yeah, just one.
So, how many wins do you think James Franklin has in his career at Penn State over top 10 opponents?
Zero.
Well, okay. Keep in mind, Penn State every year. They're at the top of the conference and always lose to Ohio State and Michigan pretty much every year. And Michigan State when they were good back in the day.
Yeah.
And Wisco and all those other good teams. He has 1. And his 8 or 9 years there.
What game was that?
You'll have to look back. I'm guessing it was against Michigan probably in the early 2010s. Might have been Wisco or Michigan State. Oh, no. They beat Ohio State one year.
Okay.
In overtime. It was 2018 or something like that. So that was just 1. The UCLA interim coach who's been in charge for 2 weeks now also has 1. So congratulations, you have as many top 10 wins as James Franklin.
I've been told that when it comes to a team that has, that up to this point has not won a game, right? They're 0-4, and then to win against a top 10 school has not happened in decades.
That was huge. And
I did check the AP poll. Penn State is no longer ranked in the AP poll.
And neither is Texas.
In the coaches poll, they're number, I think, 20
they should
21.
It's ridiculous. But anyway, Jerry Neuheisel was the new interim offensive coordinator for UCLA. This was his first or second game calling plays. Son of Rick Neuheisel, who is a
kind of reminds me of the 2007 Michigan State Appalachian State game. Was it Appalachian State with their FCS? No.
Again, Appalachian State won 3 straight FCS titles.
But Michigan, when they were ranked at the time,
Michigan finished
they completely dropped.
I would argue it was different.
They were able to work themselves back up.
Michigan was not a top 10 team at that.
Yeah, they were able to work themselves
and
back.
I understand the whole, oh my gosh, they're an FCS team. But again, they won 3 straight FCS titles. They had multiple NFL players on that team, and they then got promoted to FBS because the FCS said, we got to get rid of you, you're too good.
Yeah.
So that wasn't oh my God, you lost to South Carolina State. That team was loaded.
Yeah.
They had NFL caliber players on there. But anyway.
Just to bring that game up because, I want to be happy every once in a while on the show.
Yeah, you
when
have,
it comes to college football.
You have how many wins against us recently? Oh, that's right, like a whole 3.
Maybe, yeah. But they're good.
Okay,
Those were good games, though.
UCLA's Neuheisel, son of analyst Rick Neuheisel, who had 435 yards of offense in the win. Nico Iamaleava, I like to pronounce it Iamaleava because, he left.
I'm going to leave, yeah.
Played great with 166 passing yards, 128 rushing, 5 total touchdowns. Incredible for him as a play caller and for UCLA's interim head coach. Absolutely spectacular win for them. And devastating for a Penn State team that had national championship ambitions. And I think Jerry Neuheisel, who, by the way, is only 22.
That's the intern coach?
I don't know if I know he's the offensive coordinator.
Okay.
I don't know who the interim head coach is right now.
Well, he better be throwing out some new
Tim Skipper
new
is
stuff.
the current interim head coach.
Okay.
This is his 25th year in the collegiate coaching ranks. He was assistant to the head coach under Deshaun Foster. He was also interim head coach of Fresno State. So he has experience with that. But I think this Jerry Neuheisel guy, after this game, has put himself in prime position to be UCLA's next head coach. So we'll keep an eye on that. Penn State blows it again. You can pretty much check them out of the college football playoff conversation at this point, because I don't know if with a second loss, especially to that team, I don't think they make it.
I still think Michigan State will lose to Penn State, but I don't think it's going to be as...
No, but Penn State is a mediocre team now, so before it would have been a marquee win for you. If you do end up winning that, I would say they're no better than Nebraska at this point.
Anyway,
in fact, I think Nebraska would beat them if it was at Nebraska.
For anyone who is just joining us, this is WUPX 91.5 FM HD1 Marquette. This is the Jack and Dom radio show just talking about college football.
Yep. Let's move on to a happy topic for me. The Wolverines win 24-10 in a game that could have been a much bigger blowout. Justice Haynes, another 100-plus yard performance, 2 touchdowns, 6 yards to carry. Donovan McCulley and Andrew Marsh had breakout games. Underwood throws for 270 and a touchdown. I know Wisconsin struggled, but they've got a good defense. That was impressive. Several drops from receivers. So Bryce easily could have had over 300, and they could have had a lot more points. They went for it several times on 4th down and did not convert. So overall, a dominant game. After the first drive, when Wisconsin scored a touchdown, they only got 3 more points and didn't really threaten again. So Michigan moves up to number 15 in the polls. They'll take on USC. So Michigan and Michigan State both heading to the West Coast. For whatever reason, USC is favored by quite a bit. Google says there's a 56% win chance for USC. I'm curious what the line is for that game. USC is -2.5.
Okay.
Which is crazy to me.
So it's supposed to be a close game.
No, I agree that it'll be close, but USC being favored is crazy.
I mean, you are part of the Michigan cult, so of course
what
you're
do
going
you
to
think as a State fan? They just lost to a not-so-great Illinois team.
Yeah.
For their first loss of the season. I mean, they beat you, but they didn't play well. Like, your offense is good, but you shouldn't have scored 31.
Yeah, it's going to be close.
They struggled against Purdue, and their other 2 wins are Georgia Southern or Missouri State. So those don't really count. Those are blowouts. Yeah. But you struggled against Purdue. It was 33-17, so not your best game. And Purdue threw 3 picks, so you got lucky there. You didn't play well against State. You ended up winning because you pulled away towards the end. But State was very much in that game until the 4th quarter. I'm seeing a trend here, by the way. Something about the 4th quarter from Michigan State. And then
NMU has also done pretty bad in some 4th quarter games. Yeah, but
and then they lost to Illinois on a game-winning field goal. So I guess I understand it a little bit because both of us have one loss to a ranked team.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't really understand it because their defense is so bad that I don't see any reason why Michigan can't carve it up. I mean, Childs did really good against that defense. Luke Altmaier broke that defense to pieces. Even Purdue's quarterback had over 300 yards in the air. Like, the pass defense is an issue. You look at Georgia Southern. It's Georgia Southern, so they didn't have as much. But, we'll see. It's going to be a good game. I don't know if Michigan will win or not. I actually think USC will win, but I think Michigan should be favored because they have been the better team so far. But I don't know if we win that. I do think we beat Washington, Michigan State, Purdue, Northwestern, and Maryland pretty easily. I think only Washington. I mean, State's always a tough game, but there's zero reason why we lose that game this year. So I don't see us losing that. I think Washington will be tough, but I don't see us losing that. They're not the same Washington team. Purdue, Northwestern are gimmies. Maryland is always a trap game, but I don't see us losing to Maryland. So there's a good chance if Michigan wins this game against USC, doesn't trip up against Michigan State, Maryland, or Washington, which I don't think they will. And you are biased, so maybe you think they lose to MSU. But other than that, I don't think they trip up. So you'd have either a one-loss team, in my opinion, or a two-loss team, in your opinion, going into the Ohio State game, which presents an intriguing possibility for Michigan. We'll get to Michigan State because I want to be fair. So there's some intriguing possibilities there, too.
We'll probably go 6-6 at best.
Well, we'll get to that.
The one thing I do want to talk about,
we will talk about Texas.
There were major.
But I really want to give you some credit.
Okay.
In a second. First, I want to finish up on Michigan. So, I think if we go into the Ohio State game as a one-loss team, even if we lose by 1 million, I think you're still in the playoff no matter what. Because your two losses are to top 10 Oklahoma and at the current time, number 1 Ohio State. I think without a doubt you're in the playoff as a two-loss team in the 12-team playoff with those two losses.
And we're talking about Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in your my hypothetical, I think without a doubt. If you beat the teams you're supposed to beat, if you beat USC, you're in.
Yes.
Now, the bigger question is going to be, if you lose to USC, which I think is possible, or your argument that we lose to Michigan State. If we beat Ohio State, we're in. No question. 10-2, beat Ohio State, that's a signature win, you're in.
Yes.
If we lose to Ohio State and lose to either Michigan State or USC.
I'd also argue that because you beat Ohio State, you get to the Big Ten championship game, and you got that extra game to force your way into the college football playoff.
But you would get in automatically. Even if you lost the Big Ten championship game, you're going to be in. But I think the important question as a Michigan fan for me is, do you get in as a 3-loss team? And I know I'm biased, but I think my answer is yes.
If the loss is to USC, yes.
If the
loss is to Michigan State, maybe.
I think either way you get in. And the reason I think that is because if you look at the polls right now, and we don't have time on the show for me to go through every team's schedule.
Yeah,
if they're going to lose.
That's
that's tough. If you look at the AP Top 25 poll right now, and you take a look at the records, you can see some interesting stuff there. So, of course, I can't get the actual poll with the records, which is really annoying. Okay, there we go. So, if you look at the polls right now, you have undefeated Ohio State, undefeated Miami, undefeated Oregon, undefeated Ole Miss, A&M, OU, Indiana, Texas Tech, Georgia Tech, and Mizzou. Mizzou will play 3 of those teams. The SEC is going to carve itself up for breakfast.
Yeah.
Oregon has to play Ohio State once, probably twice in the Big Ten title game.
Yep.
Oregon also has to play, Ohio State also has to play Penn State.
Yep.
Now, if you look at the teams
I definitely think Ohio State's going to win that game.
IU will probably lose to Oregon, and I can't remember if they play Ohio State, but if they do, I think they'll lose that too. So here's why I think it's intriguing for Michigan as a 3-loss team. You have in the SEC ahead of you Ole Miss, A&M, OU, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Tennessee, Missouri. 8 SEC teams ahead of you. You're the number 15 team. Realistically, I think you could still get in with 3 losses because I think a lot of those teams like Tennessee, LSU, Mizzou, Alabama will also have 3.
Yeah.
Illinois will probably have at least 2, and I think you're a better team than Illinois. So it'll create a lot of intriguing possibilities. Now to do something I very rarely do, which is give credit to MSU football. I think you beat UCLA, no question. You're losing to us, and you're losing to Indiana. That's the bottom line. That's happening. I actually do.
We'll see.
I think you beat Minnesota. I do.
Minnesota.
So that gives you what's your current record? You're 3-2. So that makes you 5-4. Going into the Penn State game, that I think you lose.
Yes. Yeah.
Which puts you at 5-5. I think you drop the game to Iowa to put you 5-6, but then I think you beat Maryland and go 6-6. So you and I agree.
Yeah.
I do think, though, that there is a genuine danger that you miss a bowl game. Reason I say that, all biases aside, Michigan is favored in that game. So if we assume you lose all the games that you're supposed to lose and you don't upset anybody, that's Indiana, Michigan, Penn State. Iowa will be favored. I don't know about Maryland. Maryland is kind of an iffy team because they look really good some weeks and really bad other weeks.
Yeah.
I think you're going to go into that last game with bowl eligibility on the line. So I think you will probably win because I think you're going to have that extra motivation.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that you lose that and go 5-7. So State's got to be careful. But I mean,
I agree with you on that. Michigan
Also,
had to be careful, and then you got to lock in.
Here's a question for you.
Of course.
Because Michigan, if we miss the playoff, I want Sharon Moore can't, which might be crazy, but I don't want him here if we go 10-3 and miss the 9-3 and miss the playoffs. Because I think Michigan is better than that. You've got the number 1 QB in the country.
Yeah.
You've got the currently statistically best running back in the country.
Yeah.
Your defense is good. It's always good. It's not great this year, but it's good. Your offense is finally doing what it's supposed to be doing. Zero excuse. You have a cupcake schedule once you beat USC. You've got only Ohio State left. If you beat USC. I shouldn't say when. If you beat USC. Cupcake schedule after that. If you miss the playoffs, I and a lot of other Michigan fans will want Sharon Moore gone. So the question for you as a Michigan State fan, if you don't go at least 7-4.
This year?
Or
next year?
Bad. 7-5 this year. With the talent that you have, with Marsh, with Childs, do you consider it, or are you giving him a year 3, no questions asked? Because
year 3 would be a hot seat.
So you're saying
John
yes,
Smith.
you're going to give him 3 years.
I'll give him 3 years,
but
the third year, if we don't get 6-6 or 7-5, the third year the seat's getting hot.
Okay, here's a question.
However, if we beat Michigan, that seat is a lot less hot.
Of course. And same thing goes if we beat Ohio State.
Yes.
Honestly, if we beat Ohio State, we're a one-loss team, that seat gets ice cold, and I start believing again. Every year I think we're going to lose to Ohio State, and then we win, so I'm just going to keep thinking we'll lose, and then hopefully we keep winning.
Yeah.
Why change it? I'm not a superstitious guy, but, So even if you miss a bowl game and go 5-7, you're saying give it another year.
Regardless, I think
that's reasonable, though, from a Michigan State perspective.
But the third year is the hot seat.
Because I think you're still at a talent deficit, so I think that's fair. As a Michigan fan, we aren't, and so I expect better results, especially considering last season.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm a little bit more trigger happy. So I saw a lot of Michigan State fans on social media calling for him to be fired already. So I was curious, as a Michigan State fan, what your take on that was, and I think you are being a lot more level-headed than the rest of your fan base. Okay, we're going to get to the Tigers, Lions, and Red Wings, but I want to do it around the CFB, and I know you're going to mention Texas. So
yeah, big
let's
upset.
Go around the CFB. Texas is upset by Florida, which brings up another question. Did Billy Napier save his job with that win?
Yes.
I don't think so. Now, I don't think they'll fire him, not because he saved the job, but because they don't have the money. Or they're unwilling to shell out the money. Okay, around the CFB this week, in week 6, we'll talk about some of the most interesting games. Iowa State, previously undefeated, defeated by Cincinnati behind the 111-yard 2-touchdown performance from prior Cincinnati. So, surprise there. We've got Virginia needing overtime to beat Louisville. The Cinderella story for the Cavaliers continues. Vanderbilt was close at the half with Alabama, but Alabama ultimately pulls away. I think it's safe to say Alabama has rebounded from that Florida State loss, which calls into question how good Florida State really is and how good Alabama is.
And if Vanderbilt wins out, I still think they will get to the college football playoff and maybe cause some damage.
Highly unlikely that they win out, and I think they've kind of come back down to earth. But for Vanderbilt, the fact that they're ranked is still earth-shattering.
Well, they lost to a really good Alabama
No,
team.
I know that.
I mean,
but I
if
think,
it was an unranked team that granted lost, then they would drop.
But I still think Vandy is not as good as you think, only because I think it's still Vanderbilt and
But they lost
talent.
the 2 touchdowns.
No, I know
touchdowns at Alabama.
But the talent level, I don't think is going to be there to beat a team like Georgia. But we'll see. I think they comfortably.
I think they can beat Texas.
I don't.
Though.
Texas. Texas. Yeah. But I think they might be New Year's Six bound. Kent State is so bad at this point that they lost 44-0 to Oklahoma, and their logo doesn't even appear on like the Google Sports page where they kind of recap all the games.
Wait, what team is this?
Kent State. They don't even show the logo. Kent State is just so bad at this point. It's just a blue blank shield instead of the Kent State logo.
Interesting.
Which is kind of funny to me because Kent State is just that bad.
Well, I mean, it's not the worst thing that's happened to them in their history. So.
No. And then the other really interesting game.
My mom did not like that when I mentioned that to her last year when they lost all their games. She was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where
Miami,
she went to
Florida wins a close one against FSU, 28-22. The undefeated season continues for Miami. FSU keeps it close but does not win. These two teams will likely face off again in the ACC championship, barring something crazy. Something to note is that Castellanos was both the top rusher and passer for FSU, so they've got to get that run game going through their running backs if they want to have success this season. They're sitting at 3-2. If you want to have a chance to make a New Year's Six game or the College Football Playoff, it is paramount that you win out. Okay, just a little bit of upcoming stuff this week. Since I was talking about teams playing against each other that could potentially take each other out in Michigan's favor, you already have one loss Alabama against undefeated Missouri. So if Bama loses that, there's a chance they're out. Mizzou losing that would send them down the polls. Ohio State, Illinois. Illinois will lose their second game there probably. Yeah. So you again could see Michigan slide ahead of them. You got the Red River Showdown. I think Oklahoma blows them out, but we'll see. The game that I'm really excited for, and a game that I think viewers should tune into if they so choose, if they have the time, is Oregon-Indiana, the top 10 matchup. It's going to be electric.
Oh, yes, it is.
I actually think Indiana's got a shot to win that one.
Is Oregon favored, though?
Yeah.
7.5?
Massively. Oregon struggled badly against that Penn State team, and after the loss to UCLA, I think Indiana's got a shot there. That's going to be the game of the week.
If Indiana wins against Oregon, Indiana's real.
Oh, for sure.
Straight up.
Absolutely.
They could win the Big Ten if they beat Oregon.
And then Michigan playing UCLA, I think, will be another good game.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of very good SEC ranked matchups coming up in the next few weeks. Okay. We'll do a quick rundown the next 5-10 minutes of the Lions.
Well, yeah. I did not watch this game because I believed that the Lions were going to beat the Bengals, and the Bengals got most of their points in garbage time when the Lions put a lot of the backups on.
Well,
a little bit
not really.
But the Lions beating the Bengals in the way that they did.
So
yeah, the Bengals, and they didn't have Joe Burrow. So I can't beat on him too much.
What really happened was the Lions shut down the Bengals rush game, but Jamar Chase was crazy in the pass game. Browning, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He did really well in the second half. The Lions' pass defense, especially thanks to our favorite, Terrion Arnold, was significantly lacking. Detroit had a big lead and never really was concerned since he put up most of their points in the fourth quarter. Before garbage time, but still late in the fourth quarter. They made it 28-17 and then 35-24. Exciting news for Detroit. Isaac TeSlaa with another touchdown catch.
With 2 hands this time instead of 1.
I'd love to see more of him because I feel like every time he's on the field, he makes an impact.
Yeah.
And I think he's significantly better than Raymond. Raymond is also injured. So I really do hope to see him more. St. Brown, Laporta, Gibbs led the way for the Lions today. Goff, efficient as always. David Montgomery actually threw for a touchdown, which was exciting.
They did a wildcat formation, and Montgomery did play quarterback in high school for a bit, so he does have a little bit of throwing experience.
Exciting there. Mm-hmm. Disappointed we didn't blow him up by more, but a win's a win, and we move on to our next game.
The Chiefs.
Oh, yeah, that's going to
to
be
go to Kansas City
that's going to be
to play against Taylor Swift's team.
But you know what? They haven't looked good, so there's a chance we win that game.
Yeah, there's a big chance.
Okay, Detroit Tigers split the first two with Seattle.
Yeah.
Game 1 win, late runs in that one, and then Tariq Skubal gives up 2 runs in 7 innings, but the offense is silent, and they lose 3-2. We're heading back to Detroit for, I believe it's games 3 and 4, I want to say. You're going to get Casey Mize and Jack Flaherty on the mound for the Tigers in those 2 games. It'll be interesting to see who they start in Game 5. I'm wondering, it's probably not enough, but there's a chance that if it gets to Game 5, that they try on limited rest to get Skubal back out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because Skubal is leaps and bounds, not that their other pitchers are bad, but leaps and bounds better. If you look at the schedule, like in terms of when the games are, Skubal pitched yesterday. Game 5 would be October 10th. So Skubal would get 5 days of rest. So 4 days. So I think that's very possible. We'll see if it ends up going to Game 5. The series has been really close so far. Detroit's got to get offense going if they want to win. Detroit has the superior pitching staff, the Mariners, with a much better lineup. So we'll see what happens here. I think the Mariners are going to win.
Yeah.
I think they're the better team. I think Detroit made a mistake at the trade deadline by not picking up any bats.
I mean, we made it. We made it this far.
We did. I don't know if our lineup can do it because you got a lot of guys that are kind of underrated that get convenient hits. But like if you look at the overall statistics for our lineup, it's not great.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll be a fun couple of games. If you so choose, tomorrow's game is at 4:08 p.m. in Detroit. If you so choose to tune in. Okay. And the last thing I want to bring up, and then we will close for this afternoon, let you enjoy your nice and cool Monday. The Red Wings open the season on Thursday. I've said before, so I won't reiterate it. The Red Wings are going to struggle. They released a lot of veterans. They're kind of letting a lot of young guys stay up in the NHL this season rather than down in the affiliates with the Grand Rapids Griffins. So who knows what will happen. They open with some exciting Original Six matchups against the Canadiens, and then a doubleheader, well, not a doubleheader, but back-to-back games against the Maple Leafs. Their first game, Thursday, October 9th at 7 p.m. against the Canadiens, followed by Maple Leafs Red Wings, 7 p.m. October 11th and 4 p.m. October 13th.
Mm-hmm.
So if you so choose, that'll be an exciting start to the season. Perhaps the Red Wings will surprise us. Perhaps they're on the upswing like NMU hockey. So if you so choose, feel free to tune into that on Thursday. I will probably tune into that after work myself. So
awesome. Well, hope all you guys have a good and safe week. Just to remind everyone, if you so choose, and let everyone know, on October 27th, we will have 2 special guests with us, Jake Durant and Torthorn, of My UP News, which is the ABC station, will come and join us, give us some of their work experience as well as some opinions and hot takes that they have that they've never been able to share on TV just because of how their job is. I hope all you guys can join us if you so choose. Remember, that's on October 27th here on WPX at 1 o'clock. Jack, do you have anything else you want to add?
Where's my last thing? The Titans won their first game. So who will be the last team to win a game this season?
The Jets.
Yeah, poor Aaron Glenn over there, man.
Oh, man.
Jets are eating him alive.
The Jets are being the Jets. Anyway.
Jets are 0-5. Are there any other teams left that are 0-5?
No, they're the last ones.
You're right. Wow.
And so as we jet off, fly away.
Good one.
Huh?
I said good one.
Yeah. This is the Jack and Dom Radio Show here on WUPX 91.5 FM H1 Marquette. We will see you guys next week.